Alrighty, meteorologist Michael Wilhite here. Hey folks, it's been a hot minute since I have done one of these, hoping to get back into doing these maybe just a little bit more regularly. So bear with me as I learn some new technology and try to teach this old dog some new tricks. Eventually, hope to be able to do maybe some live severe weather coverage with this as well, instead of having to post to Facebook like I have done so many times in the past. So some exciting changes may be coming here. Let's get right into this though. Got a lot of rain coming our way over the next several days, folks. As we get into Thursday and Friday, we got some significant rains coming. In fact, some of the data points to 2, 3, even localized spots of more inches of rain as you go in through this on this particular model. So that's going to be a wet period here. Severe weather with it? Well, there are some chances with that, and I'll show you what I mean by that. As we get into Thursday afternoon, we've got the remnants of some storms to our west moving in. And then you notice by the evening hours, we've got some storms starting to fire. And well, honestly, these kind of have an ugly look to them. I don't think they will be massively severe, but it's something that we do have to watch as these storms roll through the area. Sort of quiets down as we go into the overnight hours. That's typical, as you would expect. But then on Friday, things start to pick up a little bit more. And as you get into the afternoon hours, notice that you've got some ugly weather potentially developing here as you get into later in the afternoon hours. Your timestamp is up here in the corner if you're wanting to know on this. And then as you go into the evening hours, it gets pretty active even into the overnight hours. That's essentially because we've got some wind energy that's going to come in. It's quiet right now, but as we go into the day on Thursday, into Thursday night and into Friday, it'll increase, and we actually get some wind energy from the upper levels of the atmosphere move in. A little short wave, as we call it, gives us just enough energy to fire some storms with this. And some of these could potentially be on the stronger side. So, for example, this is on Friday afternoon. If we just go ahead and pull a sounding here, we can take a look at the numerical data. And this is Greek to many people, I realize, but for those of you that want it, notice here what you're seeing, at least a marginal severe threat. We've got CAPE, convective available potential energy. That's a measure of energy for fuel for storms in the atmosphere. Surface-based, mixed level, most unstable, plenty supportive enough for storms. Go over to SRH, that's storm relative felicity. Not a ton of spin in the atmosphere. Well, that's a good thing because we don't really want tornadoes, but we've certainly got the wind energy to be able to go with this, if nothing else. And there's really no convective inhibition, no cap on it. Storms will fire. They'll have a little bit of wind energy to go with them. We don't have a tremendous amount of severe weather parameters in place, at least at this particular time. As you go later into the day, some of the data does suggest that maybe that changes. And so we'll pull a sounding from later in the day and see if that does there. And there again, really nothing there. Either it actually got less there. So it varies. It really does vary on the model. Depending on which hour you run with. But bottom line here is we have enough that at least supports some severe weather. So here you go. Here's later in the night, and you've got some of those severe weather numbers increasing there. That's because the low-level jet comes in and kind of cranks up. So again, I don't really expect a massive threat off of this, but it's something that we'll need to be watching. The rain will probably be the bigger story here as we go into this. For that reason, Storm Prediction Center, Weather Prediction Center rather, has issued some slight risks for excessive rainfall over the next few days across the area. So keep that in mind. As far as severe weather goes, today it is all out to our west over Wyoming, Nebraska, Colorado, where there's an enhanced risk. That slides forward in time on Thursday. It comes a little towards us. The marginal risk comes right up to Indiana, but it's not here quite yet. I do think that we could still see a strong storm or two out of this, more isolated. Day 3, they don't even have anything outlined, although based on the data that I'm seeing, you probably need to put a marginal risk more in this area as well. So, but that's just my own personal opinion, and it is what it is. It's something that we'll monitor for. Again, though, I think the bigger story on this, probably going to be the rain as we go through here, and then we will just watch for some sneaky storms as we go through here, through at least Saturday night. And then as we go into the future, we're looking at winds in the upper levels of the atmosphere here. And if you know anything about this, I've showed this in years past on the videos, but what you've got going on here is sometimes what we call a death ridge. You've got a ridge of high pressure in the upper levels of the atmosphere. It's driving the jet stream well away from us, so that'll basically shut off any precipitation chances that we're going to have out of this, and that really just does not relax for a while. So this is the Monday the 29th. That ridge, you notice, stays over us until it starts to finally retreat out to our west, and we get that what we call the northwest flow going back on it again. So that ridge is out here. Our flow comes from the northwest. That means storm chances return to this side of the country. But look at this. That is, next Wednesday, Thursday before that happens. So we're talking a week plus away for that. So by the time we get through this weekend, we do have at least a handful of days that we're going to have a little bit of a break with this. The downside to it is we got muggy old weather returning. So that low in the 50s that we saw this morning, goodbye to that. By the time we get through this weekend, lows in the 70s and highs back into the 90s. It's going to get just downright muggy again. Not extreme heat, but we've gotten spoiled with some of this little nicer weather that we've had over the past few days. It's not been like summer. A more typical summer-like pattern is going to emerge. So again, we got some rain coming and the potential for some storms, so just watch out. Again, I'm hoping maybe to do some more of these in the future. So if this has been helpful to you, you'd like to see more of these, let me know down into the comments, and hopefully we'll have some more of these for you in the future. And again, if we do get some severe weather, I'm hoping that one of these days I'll be able to go live instead of just posting some graphics on Facebook, be able to interact and answer questions more. That's always been a goal, but technology has never been my strong suit. I'm learning, so it's going to be fun as we go through this. All right, folks, I'm meteorologist Michael Wilhite. Have a great day. I'll see you soon.